This is Vikings United, your ultimate destination for everything Minnesota Vikings. Bringing together the most passionate fans, insightful analysts, and dynamic creators from across Skol Nation. Get ready for deep dives, spirited debates, and exclusive insights from Coach Cody. We're celebrating our community, honoring our heroes, and fueling your fandom with Pillars of Valor coffee. This is more than a show. It's a movement. This is Vikings United.
Running through these towns, kicking psychedelic sounds. I leave my heart down on the ground. Since I don't have you around, I grab a bottle off the shelf and go and drink it by myself. Say you wanna talk it out, well I don't think I need your help. Think I'm better off alone. I made my home run on the road. I won't spend my lonely nights talking on the telephone. I find a girl at every show, but I will never let you know how much I regret the past and why didn't you go? Because hearts ain't smart, they're built for fools. Fall apart and let you break all your rules. It'll make you choose between a bottle and the blues. But my heart can't seem to forget about you. Can't forget about you. Last 3 months, like a donkey on a chain, I got my heart off your leash, but you still infect my brain. So now I'm running round in circles, cause I can't forget the pain. Like 1,000 shiny daggers every time I hear your name. No, I have to get control of my body and my soul. I pick my heart up off the floor like I had to twice before. Should've cared a little less, we should've loved a little more. Now we both regret the past as we're walking out the door. Because hearts ain't smart, they're built for fools. Fall apart and let you break all your rules. It'll make you choose between a bottle and the blues. But my heart can't seem to forget about you. Can't forget about
Well, welcome in everyone to the Scene Project Sports Network. It's Tuesday night, and that means it's time for Vikings United. My name is Bubba Starts, your host of the show. I got my co-host Big B backstage. Coach Cody's late as usual, but he's the head coach, so he gets to do what he wants. We're going to roll a message from our sponsors right off the top here. A big shout out to Pillars of Valor Coffee, who are sponsoring a new segment on the show. We're going to talk a lot about that in a minute, but here's a short word from our sponsors, and then we're going to get into the show. Welcome in. Viking season, fuel your passion with Pillars of Valor Coffee, a proud veteran-owned company based in Victoria, Minnesota. Every delicious cup supports their mission to empower veterans and first responders. Taste the difference and make a difference. Pillars of Valor Coffee, fueling heroes one cup at a time. Find them at pillarsofvalor.com and all social media platforms. Oh, yes. Welcome in our co-hosts of the night, Big B from Coast to Coast Entertainment, who's a regular on the show now. Appreciate you, B.
Hey.
We got little B in the background, too.
Hey.
Yeah, my son back there. So,
hey, buddy, welcome to the show, man. And Coach Cody, of course, our expert analysis analyst, and the one bringing the ball talk to the show. Me, I'm just a fan who likes to run my mouth a lot. I got opinions, and that's kind of how the show goes. So welcome in, everybody. We are celebrating a huge win on Sunday Night Football. Nobody gave this team a chance on Sunday night, and they came out there and they kicked some Cowboy ass. I mean, let's put it bluntly. They kind of owned that team and gave them all they could handle down there in Texas this week.
Well, it looked scary at the beginning.
I mean, don't say nobody. I picked them to win 31-28. I was off by just a little bit, but I did pick the upset.
But it was scary at the beginning with the batted pass that was picked off, the fake field goal, which I will admit was sweet as heck. I texted Bubba after that. I'm like, dude, this game's over already. The Vikings ain't doing nothing. But they turned it around, and it starts with that offensive line. It starts with 9, and it went from there. The defense stepped up. I'm proud of them.
I think you almost appreciate that more, right? The fact that you do have it go like it did, and it looked like the defense has a 3 and out. You get the fake field goal on you. It feels like an avalanche right off the bat. Now, I missed that first throw. I think our feed jittered or something, right? So, we got the ball, it froze, we come back, and Dallas has the ball, and you're like, what happened? Right?
Yeah, it was, I think, a couple runs, and then JJ went to throw. It got batted by number 7, I believe.
Coming off the edge, yeah.
And then he kind of did what I'll call the John Cena tap out, right to the defensive player, and it was picked off.
Yep. And that's one thing. It's those batted balls, those tip balls. It's been a common occurrence, and I mean, let's be honest. Those have been leading to at least half of JJ's picks. Yep. Take those out of the equation. His TD to INT ratio is looking a hell of a lot better. The fact that we started, like trash, and coming out in we're 6-8. We have an opportunity to finish the season above 500. We're looking pretty good. We got a winning streak going.
And such a different game than the Washington game, right? Dallas needed this game, right? They needed a win here. So you don't have the cop out like a lot of people last week that Washington just rolled over. And whether they did or not, a much better Dallas team that you really, after that first drive, the Vikings were in command of that game. You come back and really just owning it. 9 came out and I think played really well, played confident, which I think plays to his strengths. And it showed a lot of that moxie, right? The gritty into the end zone on the quarterback keeper. A lot of talk about that this week. Obviously, the coaching staff's never gonna like that. But man, I don't know. I was really proud of how this team played. And I think a lot of people, I don't know, acting like the defense. I heard some fans saying the defense didn't show up. The defense played really well against an explosive Dallas team and kept them out of the end zone. You have the missed field goals that kind of make or break the game there. Down the line, those points became really valuable, but you miss those 50-yard field goals because the defense steps up when they need to and keeps them from even getting into the red zone.
I think what a lot of people are saying about the defense not stepping up is we didn't get many turnovers like we did against Washington, but they're not looking at, like you said, Bubba, just the fact that they made stops, they held them to field goals, they didn't let them score. So it's a win-win in my book on the defense. Yeah, it'd be nice to have some turnovers, but I think Harrison Smith dropped one that was right to him or tipped to him, and but hey. They walked away with the W. They played consistent after that first drive. And Dallas is a scary team. They can put points up, and we held them down. So that's good.
My wife, Danielle, chiming in here on the show, says Coach Cody's still celebrating. He's got his red Solo cup.
I
You just
mean,
ain't got
at
no
this
silverware
point,
at
it
the
is
house.
what it is. I mean, I'm happy. Just getting that winning streak, building confidence. If you can go into the end of the season 9-8, like I said, give JJ his 1,000 yards. I mean, things are looking a lot better. Draft pick at this point, whatever. It's still a first rounder. You're still gonna find value in a starter, hopefully. So I'm happy right now. Let's get another one. We got an easy team coming up.
Wow.
I mean, this team goes and wins out or wins, 2 of their next 3 even, and you're feeling pretty good because if they win, that means the quarterback played well. And if the quarterback's playing well,
That means
that's taking care of one of your biggest question marks of this whole season, right? So if we get the quarterback play that's trending in the right direction, now not to say that they may not go out and sign a veteran to be the backup so you feel a little bit better. I think we saw enough of the Max Brosmer experiment in Seattle to say, hey, okay, we can't be relying on this, still a young man and in his second, will be his second year. I think you probably keep him around again, and he's shown, probably enough behind the scenes, but he's not an NFL backup quarterback at this point in his career either to be trusted. Should you have, a lot of colleagues call him McGlass. I don't know if I necessarily buy into that. Kid had some bad luck, right? You tear an MCL, you roll an ankle this year, whatever. Probably being overprotected a little bit early in the season too. That you're going to need a viable backup option, a veteran option behind there, and not the ghost of Carson Wentz.
Yeah, you definitely have to look at the backup for sure going into the offseason. There's going to be plenty out there. I mean, maybe Wentz does come back, but like you said, a little fragile there. But you got Mac Jones, you got I'm trying to think a couple other ones, but Geno Smith and maybe Russell Wilson. But they got to know they're coming in.
B, at this point, you don't know who's going to end up getting cut because of other teams' cap situations too.
Yep.
So there's always
but they have
guys
to know
available.
that they're coming in as the backup. I mean, but
right. Well, and that's a lot different than making a trade. Saw the Matthew Stafford name thrown around. Obviously, a lot of talk about Joe Burrow, but we talked about that a little bit on the pregame show. Is like, man, we're not trying to leverage the entire future if it looks like you might have something. And really, this has been a top-down kind of shift in the mentality of the whole team. I mean, KOC now 2 games in a row relying on the run game. And when you threaten people with the run, whether it's being successful or not, it gives that little bit of pause to the linebacker, which opens up some of these throws that McCarthy was hitting on Sunday night. And that's what he's had success doing. And that's what I think just success in the NFL in general is predicated on. I mean, look at all the good quarterbacks in the league. They have a run game to lean on in that essence. Coach, can you talk a little bit about what you saw schematically on Sunday night and how that may brood for more success over the rest of the season?
Well, I mean, first of all, Dallas is they're not a slouch. We came ready to play on all 3 stages of the game. I just think that the fact that Trayvon Diggs, their star corner, he was out. That forced that Deron Bland to come from the nickel to the outside, and actually he did a good job on Justin Jefferson. He was on him most of the game, but just running the ball and just doing what worked out the last couple weeks, running the ball. Both running backs got over 10 carries. That was huge. I was surprised to see that, but that opened up the short passing game, and then we were able to see McCarthy go deep on a few passes. That one to Addison, I mean, at least he got it down the field and where Addison could catch it. It was underthrown, but I mean, that'll just come with time. That'll come with experience.
I don't even know necessarily that it's underthrown. It just with too much arc this time, where most of his problems this often it's come from not having enough on it. This one, he kind of floats up there, but you give your guy a chance when you do that too.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't necessarily does Addison have to slow down and find it? Yeah, but at least he's got the option to do that rather than the ball being a laser beam and never even gets to him, hits a cornerback in the back of the head or something, right?
You know, and that comes from that running game. The fact that we've been able to show it. Yeah, you know, even with both running backs getting 10 plus carries, the yardage and production wasn't there, but that'll come. You know, just give them the opportunities to get that. The yardage will come eventually. But just the fact that we were able to show, like, hey, we're willing to run this. Don't worry about it. You know, we'll come at you with both running backs. It's not a thing. And then that opens up that passing game. And the fact that McCarthy was able to show, hey, I'm willing to air it out. This was what most amount of times he's aired it out over 15, 20 yards in this year or his career. So that was huge. That's another thing that defenses have to think about. And that's going to, more and more things are going to come with his growth and maturity. I'm excited with what I'm seeing these past 3 weeks, actually, or 2 weeks.
B, what do you think about I mean, it's weird. Like 2 weeks ago, we were pretty much cashing it in and talking about a team that was like on their way. It's like, it's so crazy to now be here and be like, okay, we got a little bit of like, there's hope, right? There's hope. And obviously like the playoff hopes are dashed, right? We know, and we knew going into that game on Sunday, but I think that gives me even more hope for the future too, because this team didn't quit. Right? Like this team's still playing for a lot of things right now. What do you think about, you know, moving forward and what we see the rest of the season from this? I mean, obviously they're not laying down. So do you think we continue to see this kind of fire from the whole team and a really competitive finish to the season here with the goal of finishing above 500?
I hope so. I mean, you know, they got to, you know, we'll call it an easy game, you know, this week against the Giants. Hopefully they come out and, you know, do what they did against Washington. Just lay the smackdown right away. Let's run the ball. Let's get that long drive. Let's get JJ to, you know, Jefferson and get him that, you know, 100 and some yards or get a good chunk of it off so he can get closer to 1,000. Offensive line, just keep blocking, keep opening up those holes for the run game to get JJ to be able to air it out. That's one thing I'm looking forward is, you know, the consistency of the offensive line play, because I mean we talked about it before. The offensive line's playing, open up the holes, that opens up the run game. Run game's doing good, that opens up for the pass game. Everything's working out good. That's long drives that keeps the other defense on the field for a while, keeps our defense fresh. And that's something I think they need to definitely do, keep going each week and just improving and get that confidence. And then going to the offseason, okay, we got JJ, you know, let's look at our offensive line. Do we need to, you know, get the best player available? Who's going to be our backup next year? You know, and stuff like that, because I think everything's clicking right now, but again, week in and week out, it could change.
Yeah, and I kind of called it before the game, looking at the injury report last week with Darisaw not practicing, and I know he was cleared to play and then didn't suit up, right? Mm-hmm. Like he could have played, but then they didn't play. Like I think they shut him down for the rest of the year. You're going to see Justin Skol out there at left tackle. It just is what it is at this point. Why risk a cornerstone of your franchise like that when he's obviously not 100%? Like I'm in full support of Darisaw sitting the rest of the season with nothing really to play for but pride right now. That doesn't bother me at all. But you got to see some, I mean, I don't know what Kelly's contract looks like, but he got manhandled on that one play and just doesn't. I mean, granted, he was out for most of, you know, for quite a few games because of the concussion. That's just going to change the way that you play as a player who's kind of, I mean, not necessarily the twilight, but on the back side of his career. And with the concussions, you see that end coming a lot sooner right? So you need offensive line help. And that may be in that 10 to 13 range, which it looks. I think we're probably not going to do worse than the 13th overall is kind of the way I heard it today. And even if you lose out, you're really not going to get better than the 10th pick at this point. So in that 10 to 12 range, the best offensive lineman is kind of in play in there, right? I don't know exactly. We haven't necessarily got into our hardcore draft coverage yet, but there's a lot of other needs on this team too, right? Safety, and you got some pretty good defensive backs that are in the draft this year that are going to be coming out. But can a guy, and is B-Flow here? I think that makes a big difference. Like, there's just so many questions now on the defensive side of the ball that it's really nice to see the quarterback position kind of ironing out here at the end of the season, to not go, okay, we got to sell the farm to get a damn quarterback now.
Yeah, I mean, and there's not going to be it's not a good quarterback class this year.
No.
It's not going to be one next year either. So, I mean, pick your poison at this point. But you got what you got, and it's looking promising. So let's keep it. I'm happy with it. I think offensive line, especially with a pick that high, there might be one or two off the board, depending on how strong that class is. I haven't really paid attention to offensive line, college wise, but I mean, you can at least get a top 5 O lineman. You gotta, defensive backs, you can get that in the free agency. The safety, you're going to have to get a safety, early rounds as well.
Looking at the contract situation, for Kelly, he's going to be locked up next year, maybe with the player option, but it was a 2-year deal when he came here. But I'm with Cody. I mean,
okay,
you definitely got to go offensive line your first pick, maybe defensive line your second pick, address the safety corner positions in the free agency. But yeah, I definitely think your first 2 picks have to be those big guys on the line.
Yeah, or possibly flip-flopping it, depending how the board falls. If you go defensive line with that, 10 to 13 pick, you're usually getting a pretty solid pass rusher, which I think we're proving that you need, right? Dallas Turner is not that necessary 4 down. He can be that good third. We need somebody up front, and we're going to need somebody there. Hargrave seems like he's probably going to be a cap casualty. Jonathan Allen, I think, because of his situation, will be here. But you're going to need some help. I mean, obviously, we've had the Jalen Redmond has been incredible, but do you trust the guy that was in the UFL, half a season ago, really, who has showed a lot of promise now? Are you investing a ton into that and saying, he's the guy for the foreseeable future? And now with the Grenard injury, Grenard done for the season. They announced that today with his shoulder injury. You don't know what kind of shape he's going to be in on, now in the back half of his career as well. An injury like that changes a player. It changes how you move a little bit. And especially, for someone like that as a pass rusher that you have, it's going to affect everything that you do. And I mean, it looked like just a hyperextension, right? Like he got a hold of Dak on the way by, and Dak kind of moved by, and it just pulled that just enough, right? That, it was obviously bothering him all season. Now you wonder what the damage truly is. And we may never know because they don't really have to say a whole lot. I didn't know. I don't know. Did they announce that there's going to be a surgery involved?
Yeah, that's why they shut him down, is that he's gonna get surgery if needed. They are planning for a surgery. They did say that, or it sounded like, if the games meant something, that he would do his best to stick it out with his team. So, but since the season's over, games don't mean nothing, they kind of agreed upon player and team to, hey, let's just call it a season, go get that fixed, and then come back next year.
Which means he was probably headed for an off-season surgery anyway. And they just decided with kind of re-injuring it a little bit, hey, let's just do this now. There's no reason to wait with the playoff chances dashed and the re-injury. It just kind of all came together that way. I mean, Will Reichard continues to be the best player on this team. That's insane, man. He's so clutch. He's so clutch. And I love I love the mellow, him and JJ both. I like the attitude of this team. I know some people didn't like the JJ and then saw some fans like, oh, you don't have any reason to be celebrating. Look, you're winning an NFL football game, and this is the entertainment industry. These fans need something to get behind. I loved it. The gritty into the end zone made me love the kid even more.
Yes.
I feel like this team needs a little bit of that juice, right? You get that from Jefferson when he's on. Do I want to see him do that all the time and to feed more into that? But look, there wasn't anybody within 15 freaking yards of him. You pick your spots, and I felt like that was a safe one.
It was a smooth play, and I was at a football party, and they're kind of upset with it. I was like, well, there was nobody around, but yeah, I can see the fact that he had the ball out there. We know the balls are slick. If he dropped it, we're screwed. Maybe he still gets it and puts it in the end zone, but I don't know. I'm kind of in the mixed reaction where you're a young kid. Score first and then do the celebration in the end zone.
Hell no, Coach. I'm with Coach. And Shelly, I don't know if this is you agreeing with us on this one, Shelly. So this is Marcus's wife, the beautiful Shelly Way, Lady Persia. She paints faces at the VWO tailgate. Nice. She's who did my makeup. You guys have seen my photo on there. She's awesome. She's chiming in. So they were at the game down there. And I don't know, Shelly, were you guys in that end zone down there when that happened? Because I think I saw a lot of
posts from them guys. They're on the opposite side though, because they all thought he did. They got stuffed, and then they saw JJ go in. So I mean, okay. So I like the attitude of the kid. He's having fun. I get it, but I think him being young, let's get in the end zone and let's party.
I mean, I loved it. I'm not gonna lie, I loved it. I know KOC probably didn't just because.
No, he did not. He did not.
Just because
even he smirked a little bit in the press.
I mean, oh yeah, he had to say something. That was just something he had to say. That was mad. Just because he held that ball out, that was the only reason why I could see KOC get mad. I mean, this is what his second or
the end zone right there.
right. Just punts it. But what is this? His second or third primetime game, and he's already got 2 wins. I mean, but that's the thing about Minnesota and Minnesota fans. I'm just gonna say it. As soon as someone shows a little bit of confidence, they're like cockiness, and then they instantly hate the guy or they give him shit.
I agree with you, Cody, on that. Yeah, I don't hate the guy. I'm just kind of impartial. I mean, yes, it was cool to see the guy was wide there, but again, what if he drops it, or what if Dallas took that as a slap in the face and then they go down and put 21 straight points on the board? Now we're talking about how cocky he got. So,
man, I don't know. I think all these players are searching for something to play for, and these guys, they're all like that, right? They all got a little bit of that in there, and to see your quarterback to go out and to do it, and the way he threw the ball after it and just gets by, like, that's what we've been asking for. Like, that's what you weren't getting from a Kirk Cousins or from a Sam Darnold, right? Like, we've been asking for somebody that shines under the bright lights, that shows a little bit of attitude, but not in the piss poor way, right? Like, he's not on the side. He's always the first guy hyping up his guys when things aren't going well. I know they quoted him in that Chicago game, like, where else would you rather be? Where else would you rather be than right here, right now? And like this. And I love it. Shelly's with us, man. Celebrate that shit. Let's go. Let's go.
Yes.
All right. I'm outnumbered. I get it.
Well, the way I see it is the ball, first drive, ball tipped, interception. A lot of people are like, "Oh, here we go again." I think the announcer said it on TV, but to come back, in prime time and score a touchdown, so you're not going to flinch. Having a defense like Brian Flores, it gives you that extra confidence even as a rookie because if they're on, you're getting that ball back. You're going to have chances. You don't have to be an all-star. You just got to play your game. You're going to get the ball back. It's no big deal.
No, and it's like I said, that's exactly what we've been asking for. That's why you draft the kid. And it maybe, him being that guy and the whole 9 persona maybe hurt his draft stock a little bit because some coaches and organizations don't want it. I think that's the fire that this Minnesota team needs. I think it's the fire that the fan base wants and needs. And yeah, it looks like shit if you do punt it out of there, right? And it does look that. But man, when you waltz into the end zone like he did on one of the most beautiful, it faked out everybody.
Oh yeah,
I knew he had it right away. Just because of how open it was coming, I was like, oh, he's got that ball. Like, it's incredible. And I hope that all stems from the running game, right? Like that stems from KOC's commitment to, we are going to play smash mouth football. We're going to come out heavy set. We're not going to try to be the smartest guy in the room. And look what it turns into. And it becomes a galvanizing moment for the whole team. And I think it makes those defensive guys want to go out there and to make that play, to be able to celebrate too. I think it feeds the whole team. But yeah, it's what we're asking for. You're asking for a winner, and then you get a winner, and you're gonna you got to take the good with the bad. Yep. For me, you have to be willing to take those things and to yeah, does it look like shit if you lose the game or they come right back down? But that ain't on JJ, man. You ran a beautiful play. If he doesn't fake that ball, like nobody in the state, I had friends that were in the end zone that missed it. They were right there and they thought it was coming up the middle, right?
Well, and I think if Shelly and everybody that was there for the VWO can probably testify that the Cowboy fans started cheering because they thought they stuffed them. Yeah, and then they see JJ going around the corner with the ball, and it's just like, oh, they just faked the heck out of us, and so everybody was faked out.
It's awesome.
That was a nice rebuttal to the Dallas fake earlier. I'd rather take our version of the fake. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, and you know what? I wonder if that doesn't play. I know he said he was going to do it in or he had done it in practice, and he probably won't ever do that in practice again. He'll probably just save them for the game. But also, it's a shout out to your guy. It's a play where your guy's not out on the field. Speaking of Jefferson, and it's a little homage to him, knowing that he hasn't got the touchdowns that he deserves this year. I don't remember if that was after the one that they caught in the end zone and they had the procedure penalty as well. Wasn't it like the play after that, or was it that same drive?
I think it was the same drive. I think it was just earlier.
I can't think if it was the same drive. I think you're right. I think it was the same drive.
I want to say it was the same drive. It was earlier. They had ran that play to Jefferson, had that penalty, and then I'm pretty sure McCarthy rolled out to the right, got to the one there, tried to lower his shoulder, and then they ran the bootleg. I think that's how it went. But
let's see if we can pull it up here.
I don't know. I appreciate it. I appreciate all this, and you have to let McCarthy do that. I don't think you need to do what Baltimore does with Lamar Jackson. I don't think it has to be all read option and kind of putting the quarterback with 10 carries plus a game. But you got to allow him to use his legs and to have some of that scripted as well. He's a threat, and you'd like to see him protect himself a little bit better, I think. But I've heard people saying that head first dive is almost protecting yourself better these days, because at least you're in control of like where you're going and you're still giving yourself up. So I think there's a lot to his game that has been unlocked these last 2 weeks that we just weren't seeing earlier in the year.
So yes, it was the same drive that we were talking about.
Awesome. Yeah, B, you're a freaking pro at pulling all this stuff up, man. I appreciate having you because, yeah, Cody's struggling to even keep his phone sitting up right. Somebody get Coach a tripod for Christmas.
Yeah, because they actually they had the 5-yard penalty, and then they went right back to JJ. He dropped it. Actually, it was short of JJ. McCarthy then scrambles, and then it was the 1-yard run.
Okay. Yep. And I mean, Bubba, did you just say you were, you were a fan of him going, head first and not sliding?
I was just iterating that what I heard today, and I think I was listening to Purple Daily probably, and they're saying that actually that head first dive, because you're still giving yourself up, is actually a safer play, because when you slide like that, guys are coming at you, and quarterbacks are tending to get hurt more often sliding like that, and he doesn't slide very well. Right. So like they say it's a little bit safer. I don't know what statistics they're pulling to come up with that, but
yeah, no, I mean, whatever he has to do, sliding head first or feet first, as long as he does it, that's fine. I know he likes to be aggressive and, thinks he's got something to prove, I guess. But just save your body. Just save your body. If you slide, like you said, you're giving yourself up. You're getting an opportunity to get that penalty and get free yardage. Plus, shoot, 3-4 more years down the line, he's going to be like, yeah, I'm glad I started to slide. Longevity. You want longevity.
Anything else from the game that we want to touch on, guys? Anything that you saw? B, we can start with you. Things you liked, or just things you saw that maybe surprised you.
I'm just glad that they're playing consistent now. It looks like they are. Kind of wish that we definitely could get JJ the ball, Jefferson to get over 1,000 yards. I know, a couple announcers have stated, well, JJ McCarthy is throwing a harder ball, so it's hard for Jefferson to catch. You're a pro, catch it.
Yeah, that's bullshit to me. I'm not buying
it. Outside that, I just want to see them just start putting a lot of the rumors of, we're going to trade for this guy. We need this. And, and I think it just starts each week. Just go out there, have fun. Play schoolyard football. If you got to, get that, quarterback sneak again and do the gritty to pump up your team, go ahead. Just make sure you score. But yeah, just go out and have fun. I mean, I didn't see anything. You could probably say that there was a missed call or Vikings got screwed on a penalty. Well, you can say that every game. I don't really concern that, but I mean, there was that one I think a lot of people were talking about with JJ and the defensive back late in the game where the defensive back barely looked back, and everybody, at least where I was at, thought it was a penalty.
Yeah, I thought that was PI for sure, man. Like I don't know
if they're going to call that the same way all game.
Right.
I agree. If it's going to be consistent that way, and you're going to let these DBs play with a little contact, but I think at least 80% of the time that gets called.
Yeah.
And I don't know. It just seems like it's not, that connection is just off. Right. And the same thing with Addison dropping a lot of balls too. And I don't, Coach, maybe you can kind of touch on this. You've been around a lot of balls and chemistry, it's not necessarily like how hard he's throwing it. Is it the way the ball looks coming out of the guy's hand? Is it just chemistry, right? Is it just knowing and the expectation of where the ball is going to be and when, and just like reps of plays that builds that? Like, I don't know.
Yeah. It's timing, repetition, getting those long days in the off season, which I mean, he had this year, but he could have had all season long getting that timing down with Jefferson. The balls, it is what it is. You know, they should be used to it. They should know that it's coming in hot by now. Week 15, 14, they should know. I I'm more upset over Addison. And Jefferson. Jefferson, that one, it just went over his fingertips. I don't know. I feel like he could have got that one if he just gave more effort. Addison and Naylor, they need to actually, they need to take advantage of this because, you know, Jefferson's getting so much attention and we can't get it to him. Huh?
Naylor is taking advantage of it.
No, Naylor is, but I mean, this is where you make this is where you make your money. You know what I'm saying? This is where you make your money. If you're gonna get the opportunities, knowing Jefferson's taking away all the attention, you got Hawkinson too. If you're in Naylor's position, you got all three of them with Addison. This is where you make your money right here. And I'm excited to see it because if we can continue to spread the ball out like this, Hawkinson, Oliver, both running backs coming out of the backfield. Hey, you still got to look out for Jefferson, but we also have Naylor and Addison. I mean, it's going to be deadly here pretty soon.
And it sounds like that's going to be pretty tough to pull it off because of the way Naylor's played, right? Like he's getting himself paid every single game, not a single drop this year, right? And he probably goes out and has like 2 next game because everybody's jinxing him. But 0 drops and some big catches in some big moments, right?
He definitely got that big catch on that first touchdown. Kind of took the wind out of him a little bit.
That was scary.
Yeah.
Man,
exactly like you said. I think it was just that moment. He landed, knocked the wind out of himself, and just like takes you a minute. He landed pretty damn hard. I was afraid he got a concussion, right? When his neck kind of snapped back, I thought it was going to be concussion for sure. But
I actually have one thing I wanted to bring up that I thought was pretty key. Brandon Aubrey. Dallas kicker missing those 2 field goals, one earlier in the game. The second one came when we were up 24-23, just at the beginning of the 4th quarter. I mean, you hit that field goal. Yeah. And it was what was it, 50-something yarder?
Yeah.
If he hits that, I mean, that momentum just shifts. That was a huge play right there. And I'm so glad that he missed it because he's not one to mess around with usually.
Yeah.
We got lucky there.
Yeah, but that also comes back to the defense keeping it to a 50-plus yarder, right?
Yeah.
Like I know this guy's got a huge leg and he can hit from her, but those kicks are not a given for anyone. They've seemed like it, unless there's a camera wire hanging down for Will Reichard this year, but they're not a given. And that's what makes what Reichard has been doing since he got in the league, really, all the more impressive, and it makes him a weapon. And I think, he played at a big school, right? He played at Alabama. He's used to that big crowd and being, that juice, and seeing the relationship that him and JJ have, where they kind of had the thing going on after that big kick there. I like a little juice out of the kicker too, right? Like I don't want to see him trying to do backflips and shit, but a little bit of an edge, right? And I think that building some confidence and seeing this team, and Shelly had the comment earlier, right? Let's just play spoiler. Let's get off on playing spoiler for the rest of the season, right? Green Bay might not win a game the rest of the year with Micah Parsons out, right? Like that changes the look of that defense completely. Completely changes them and changes the look of that team. Everybody on that defense is feeling a little less confident now that he's sidelined and done for the year. So, you can go out and to hand that team a loss and Detroit a loss on Christmas Day, right? Like this whole season starts to feel a lot different. And even if you finish at the bottom of the division, you have beat everyone in the division at that point, right?
Yeah.
And I think that gives you a lot of confidence moving into the next season and going, hey, if we don't have, Carson Wentz out there for 4 games and Max Brosmer for a game, and you win 1 or 2 of those, 4 or 5 games in there, this team's 500 with JJ McCarthy right now. He goes and wins 3 more. He has a 7-4 record in his rookie season. That's pretty damn good for a 22-year-old kid making his first starts in the NFL. I think you feel a whole lot different about where we're moving in to the 26-27 season. Can we finish this off?
Yeah, no, you nailed it right there. I mean, they just got to go out, have fun, play. I didn't realize they were playing on Christmas. I was, just looking at the schedule now. So we got another short week. Hopefully we don't have big injuries against the Giants. We can go in here against the Lions. Like you said, play spoiler. I mean, that's what you're going to do when you're having fun. Just go out there and spoil everything. I mean, why not? It happens to us all the time. Let's turn around and do it to somebody else.
Yeah, no, I 100% agree. 100% agree. This week though against the Giants, I mean, I'd rather us sit a few and see what we got depth wise, and then come to the Lions full strength. Darius, I'll come back for one more. No,
well, I think you got to play the starters. I don't want to say treat it like a preseason game, but I think you got to, where let the starters play quarter and a half. If the game starts getting out of hand either way, then you start, okay, let's see what we got. Let's rest these guys. Jefferson, you got to play Jefferson. Let him let's see if we can knock that 162 down to, 70 yards going into the last 2 weeks instead of 100 plus,
and I want to see him go off against a bad Giants team. I want to see him get 200 yards. I want to see him have a huge game and figure out how to unlock
He's due
part of it. Well, even if it's like bringing him in motion and giving him that slot position on one of those play action plays that you're running, right? Let him run wide open down the field like Addison was on Sunday night, and let him streak down there wide open. Like, let's get him some big plays. And you know what? I said it last week as well. Consummate professional, man. That is a leader. That is someone who you are proud to have as a leader of this team. He hasn't bitched or moaned a single time, to the point where Collinsworth and Tirico, right, are like, hey, he's kind of doing you wide receivers dirty, because he's not screaming for the ball and bitching on Monday about not being there, right? But that's someone that you want at the head of your franchise, and in a season that was lost early and has felt the way that it's felt, you can't feel better about having, Jeddah's being the face of this franchise. It's the reason he's on all of our thumbnails, right? Like, there's only one guy. And if that becomes 9 over the course of, the next decade, we'll see. But for right now, that's your guy. It's all about 18, and go get the man his cookies these next 3 weeks.
Is that our target number, 162? Is that what it is right now for him to get 1,000?
It's got to be close to that, because it was 800 something, and he did have.
He was at 190 going into the game, and I think even OKC made a comment that our mission is 190.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, so it's around 168, somewhere in the ballpark there, but I mean,
these two receptions for 20 yards is not gonna get us there.
Oh, exactly.
We gotta get him 1,000.
Jefferson's at 832 right now, so you're looking at 168 to get him over 1,000.
Yeah, and you got to imagine that KOC's got something up his sleeve against a bad Giants team here, and just go out and get him. Get them all in one game, right? Let's have that game, silence this entire narrative.
Let's get it by halftime and sit them in the second half. I mean, let's just.
I don't think he'll sit, right? Like, I just don't think that he has that in him at all, because he hasn't sat at all this year. He was out there blocking his ass off and drew a penalty, right? you talk about somebody that cares about this team, that cares about the fans and showing up for his city. I mean, I just proud to be a fan because of guys like that, right? Because I've been fans of other teams that I watched lay the down and just give up. And this was in like week 11, right? Like, where I appreciate it. I appreciate the fight that this team still has and what it means and what this fan base means. We brought up the Christmas Day game, and I got to shout out these people. I'm going to bring this picture up on stage. Obviously, a lot of you Vikings fans know Sir Death, his beautiful wife Kristen. That's their little baby Rayleigh. They were at the game last week. They're season ticket holders, and they're obviously friends with a lot of others. They did a drawing tonight, and I'm not sure who all got the tickets, but they've been giving away tickets in section 140, which is the super fan section, right below the drum. And they gave them away to families, single parents with kids that wanted to go to the game. He kind of started it, and a lot of other season ticket holders started throwing it in. Obviously, a lot of them members of the Viking World Order as well. I just wanted to take a minute to shout out, Sir Death, Carl's such a great guy. Kristen is beautiful. They're such good people, man. And it's really these people that attracted me to this franchise. Yes, the team being good helped as well, but meeting this organization and these people inside of it, this family of fans and how they treat not just other Vikings fans, but other fans from around the league, it really attracted me to wanting to do this show so that we could feature guys like Marcus, who we've had on, Sir Picasso, with all the things that he does, raising money for charities, his beautiful wife, Shelly, who is on with us tonight, Lady Persia. Vikings fans need something, right? We talked about the Wilfs lowering the ticket prices in the nosebleeds to get families in the door. Like, that means something. And to me, it means a lot to me, because I could just, revert back, the team I used to root for is doing good this year. I have no problem being a Fairweather fan, but I ain't playing that, because the family means more, right? This family means more, and giving other people a chance when it's not, the season isn't going the way that you'd want it to. It speaks volumes of the people that root for this team. Right. And I just wanted to take a minute to shout them out. And what a adorable picture from the game. They said she was passed out by halftime, but she woke up when somebody told them that Snoop Dogg is performing halftime at Christmas Day.
I love it. I love it.
Awesome. So shout out to Sir Death. I got to get another shout out in here too. So we've had a couple other, obviously we shouted out Pillars of Valor off the top of the show, and we're going to talk more about them coming up too. But before we move into the next segment of the show, I want to shout out some people that have thrown me some free stuff to talk about them. So Punch Gunk is a topical cream similar to what you used to get with the Icy Hot and stuff. And let me pull up my ad read here. I'm not a great broadcaster yet, but I'm working on it. Just like this team's working on being a good football team, I'm working on being a decent broadcaster. I'm going to keep trying. So this next segment is brought to us by Punch Gunk, the muscle and joint relief cream made for people who actually push their bodies like our Minnesota Vikings. Whether it's from training, working, or just living life, Punch Gunk's fast-absorbing, non-greasy formula with arnica, aloe, and other natural ingredients helps soothe sore muscles and stiff joints so you can recover faster and get back to the fight. No overpowering menthol smell, just clean, effective relief. Try Punch Gunk and feel the difference in your next workout or your next work day. And actually, they gave our fans a code where you can get 10% off with the code SPSN Vikings 10. Go to punchgunk.com. Check these guys out. I've been using it all week because we've been back in the gym. My wife, Danielle, who's commenting as well, boo the Bears. Yes, we boo the Bears. I'm not going back, man. That fan base is so goddamn toxic. You think the Vikings are bad. Try being a Bears fan for 38 years. That was rough. That was rough. Even when they're good, they're still bitching, man. I can't even – I tune in once in a while just to keep their you know what it really came down to, since Danielle's watching tonight, I got tired of my wife talking shit all the time while they were kicking our ass. And we went to the whiteout game last year, and the Bears had laid down. I knew they were going to get their ass kicked, and I wasn't about to let my wife go, woo, in my face the entire game like I did the last 2 times we went to watch Bears Vikings. I feel like I stole a little piece of her fun, but it's so much better getting to celebrate with your family and especially with your wife when she's a big as shit talker as my wife Danielle is. So shout out.
That's always fun when the women start talking trash. I always think that's always great. I mean, even if it's like you and you being a Bears fan, but I always think it's always good when the women start talking trash. My aunt, who played in the women's league when they first came out back in the early 2000s.
She built like you?
She's built. I mean, she was a shot putter in college. No, she was a bit. She played left tackle, number 64 for the Vixens, and then no, she was good, but she's down with the trash talker when you can't watch a football game with her because she'll sit there and get all hype and stuff, and it's funny, but it was good times.
No, babe, I don't love it. I love you. And staying married was more important to me than any damn football team will ever be. So, a little bit of history and how I kind of came over. I mean, what it came down to is like I was already a fan of this Vikings team, except for 2 games a year where I wasn't rooting for them. Right. So it wasn't like that big of a change. I was falling in love with this team for 5 years. KOC had a little bit to do with that. Obviously, having a generational talent like Justin Jefferson as well. And then having a really special year. But like I said, what hammered it home for me was seeing the family that the VWO is and seeing that super fan group and what it meant to them to raise money for charity and everything that they're doing. And, everything that I'm really meeting Marcus and Shelly and getting to talk at length with them about who and what they are and what they're about. That solidified it for me where I was like, man, I'll never root for another team because I want to be a part of that family. Right? Like I want to be a part of that. And it doesn't like wins and losses to me. Don't care. I've watched my football team lose for 38 fucking years. Right? Like we've never been good. So like if people are like, oh, well, you jump on the bandwagon now when it's good, wait till the lean. Like I've experienced lean years, right? Like I've experienced the worst of it. It can't get any worse than that. And I feel like it gives me a little experience in a season like this, where it's like, look, man, you're still playing decent, but like you still have a lot to root for. And you still have a lot to play for in these last games. So fun to talk about our fandom.
And then just talking about sports, Minnesota, we haven't seen the championship since 91 with the Twins. But it's heartbreaking because you got Jefferson, you got Ant-Man with the Wolves, you got Buxton and Lewis with the Twins. It's just like, God, get the Kirilov with the Wild. It's just like, God, I wish we could get those titles for them, get them to the big game, and stuff like that. Yes, the Lynx are winning, the Minnesota's women's team's winning, in the hockey, but
Frost,
we need to get those superstars to the big game. I mean, that's it.
My wife here. So the first time we went to watch Bears Vikings, Justin Fields was still on the team, and we sat in the 300 level, but we were right at the front of it. So, honey, those aren't nosebleed seats. I know we've been spoiled because we went 300, then club level, and then we had bought seats in 200, like in the bowl. But then we got together with the VWO crew, and they're like, "Hey, just come down to section 140," and like. We watched the game from there. Once we got the keys to 140, it's like, oh, no, just get in the door. Just get in the door and hang out on the concourse is good enough, right?
Well, next time you guys go to a game, let's hook up. My son wants to get to a Viking game, but
let's get it.
Yeah.
Let's go. Well, you know what? Let's get a shout out to I'm going to run an ad here from Pillars of Valor, and then we're going to move into our next segment as we keep on moving along here on Vikings United. Yes, we went through a little rebrand. There is another show called Vikings Uncensored. They sent me an email. I decided to not be an asshole and not fight them. I mean, we only had 2 shows in it. So I was like, man, you guys have 5 years invested in your brand. I didn't do my research. Obviously, you guys have watched the show enough to know that I don't do any research. I kind of just go with the flow. That's what we got Big B on the show for, is being our statistician. But a little shout out here to Pillars of Valor. And then I want to announce a brand new segment that we're going to be rolling out here in the next little while here. So a word from our sponsors, and then we'll be right back with the next segment of the show. This Viking season, fuel your passion with Pillars of Valor Coffee, a proud veteran-owned company based in Victoria, Minnesota. Every delicious cup supports their mission to empower veterans and first responders. Taste the difference and make a difference. Pillars of Valor Coffee, fueling heroes 1 cup at a time. Find them at pillarsofvalor.com and all social media platforms. So we are going to do a new segment on the show called the Hero of the Week. We don't have anything quite prepared yet this week, but a special shout out to Pillars of Valor for sponsoring that. So we are going to nominate a Hero of the Week every week and recognize one of our veterans inside of Viking fandom. We're going to send them a free bag of coffee from Pillars of Valor. So we didn't really, I just approached Zach Husted, the owner, today about it. And he said, as long as they're a veteran, we're all about it. So we want you guys tuning in and listening with us. We're going to put it out on our socials as well. You can nominate a veteran. We'll do a drawing, and each and every week, we're going to do a drawing and, send out a bag of coffee to one of our veterans as our Hero of the Week here from the Scene Project Sports Network, Viking United, and Pillars of Valor. So shout out to Pillars of Valor, just being an incredible organization in every way and making that happen for us. So you can nominate your veteran now, and we will do the drawing next Tuesday before the show and then announce them. And we'll be trying to bring these guys on, or gals, and have them on the show with us, tell us a little bit about their story, and to recognize our veterans who mean so much to us out here. So just wanted to kind of get that out there in the world. What do you think about that, B?
Hey, great. I mean, because we couldn't do this stuff, live our lives without those veterans, sacrificing their lives over the years. Like I said, I got a nephew that's serving right now over in Japan. I've had family members serve. I've had close friends, co-workers serve. People that I've met through other media websites. Definitely shout out to them, and definitely, to them, it's just another honor for them, but for us, it's definitely a good recognition for them, and definitely proud to be a part of that.
No, and I haven't talked to my founder at OCVS yet, but I'm sure that they'll put a little package together. We got some stuff. So co-sponsored by Operation Combating Veteran Suicide and Pillars of Valor. We're going to get a nice little care package put together for a Hero of the Week and send those out. And we're so proud here at the Scene Project Sports Network to be able to support veterans. I didn't serve in the military, but I had a lot of my family and friends that did. And just doing what we can to recognize their sacrifice by, a bag of good coffee, the best coffee on the planet, and maybe a koozie and some other stuff from OCVS, Operation Combating Veteran Suicide. It's really the least that we could do. So shout out to you guys for letting me bring this into the show, man. I appreciate that. That's gonna bring us to our next segment, Coach. We're gonna do our weekly the Gooder, the Eeler, and the Yoder, which is Viking Yiddish for Viking gibberish for the good, the bad, and the ugly. I just, I pray that I'm saying it right. Oh, where's Coach? Let's get him on here. There we go. That's the one I want.
I'm right here. I'm still here. You found me?
Yep.
You got me.
We got you.
All right. Well, first of all, I mean, props to you. You're pronouncing it good in my book. I'd butcher it, and I'd butcher the hell out of it. But the good, just McCarthy. like I said earlier, being on prime time, in front of the lights, in front of everybody, America's team, America watching, coming back after throwing that interception, not flinching, kind of showing that confidence of knowing, hey, I got B-Flow on the other side of this, on the defense, helping me out. I know that as long as I play my game and play within myself, I'm going to be just fine, and hopefully have the right play calls from KOC. Props to you for sticking with what works, sticking with what is going to help your quarterback. This is different territory for you, and having a quarterback that hasn't been developed yet, and just the fact that he was able to switch that game plan multiple weeks in a row. I didn't think he'd be able to do it. 10 carries plus for both running backs. That's just got to be a recipe for success. The bad, I would say, just that chemistry to Justin Jefferson. I know it's, we've been talking about it left and right for weeks now, but at some point, he is a generational talent. I don't know if you're ever going to find a wide receiver with his talent, his capabilities, his abilities, and to not be that prima donna off the field, that Terrell Owens, that Chad Johnson back in the day, just turning into a cancer on the team. That just adds to his value, and we gotta get him that 1,000 yards.
Now, Coach, that's gonna work itself out, right? Like, you have to think that eventually that's going to hit. Like, I don't know how it doesn't. There's too much talent to not have it eventually start hitting. And they did connect on the one that gets called back because of the procedure penalty, but like, it's gotta hit, and you have to think that eventually that's gonna come around.
Well, and shout out to Justin Jefferson on that particular play, because you go so long without a touchdown catch, and you finally get one, and you're covered up by Josh Oliver. Like, I've said it once, I say it again. These hands work at the end of the day. Like, get off the line. Just the stupid penalties. That shit should be cleaned up in the preseason, and not even in the preseason, in the training camp. Get that out of the way. That's just, I felt for him.
We all did. He knew it too.
Yeah, we all did.
He started doing the gritty, and he saw the call or something, and he just kind of sat back. He's just like, oh.
I know. Yeah, I literally about 2 hours before this, I rewatched that game specifically so I could find that. I knew Aubrey missed 2 field goals. I just had to find that second one. Of course, it'd be in the fourth quarter. But I mean, I saw that, and I rewound it, saw it again, and yeah, you could see him just, are you kidding me? And I mean, like, when it's your year, it's your year. When it's not, I mean, you gotta weather the storm. There's gonna be peaks and valleys. You gotta weather that storm because you know what's on the other side of it. So,
and I feel like it can all get put to bed with a 200-yard, 2-touchdown game, right? Like, all of that gets put to bed, and then I don't feel like once you have chemistry, you don't lose it, right? Like, it's one of those things that it's like riding a bike. You know what I mean? It may take you a while to get on it and to figure it out, but like, once you have it, you got it for life. And that's why guys can leave a team and come back with the same guys and kind of mesh again. It's just a matter of finding it finally.
Yeah, and like you said, once you find it, you're never gonna lose it, and at the very least, you're gonna add to it. You're gonna be like, hey, we got this little move, but if you see this, break it off this way, and I got you. And that just comes from the repetition. That comes from years of it. It's not just gonna happen overnight. And I believe that we're gonna be able to get Justin Jefferson and McCarthy getting that relationship and rapport down because of the fact that Naylor's showing up, Addison's showing up. You can't just solely bracket Jefferson, although, you probably should. You still have 3-4 other options coming out at you. So, and the fact that McCarthy, he's not a statue. He can run. This dude's got wheels under him. Don't get that twisted. He can take off on you. That's just another element that you have to pay attention to. And as a defense, looking at the future here coming up, if the Vikings can stay healthy and we continue to see this progression and maturity from McCarthy, I mean, what did he just broke a record for most multiple touchdowns and a rushing touchdown in his first 8 games. Like, I mean, he's doing something right, and we're doing something right. We're seeing the positivity, of the results coming from that run game. That's what it breaks down to. Even if we don't have the offensive line, throwing Skooly or Brandel or whoever in there, just the fact that you're still willing to show you're gonna run, that still opens up. It keeps the defense, honest, and that's what you need. And but yeah, Jefferson, we're gonna get it. We're gonna get it right. It probably won't be this year. We're still gonna struggle. I wouldn't be surprised if he barely gets that 1,000 yards. As much as I hate to say it, but I believe you give both of them a full off season. Make sure McCarthy's completely ready to go. Fix his mechanics a little bit. We'll be all right.
Go ahead with the ugly, Coach.
The ugly, I mean, probably I would just say not being able to get it to Jefferson. That I can't pick out much more than that. The defense, they didn't break. We were able to force Aubrey to kick 3-4 field goals. I'm pretty sure he only missed 2, but just getting them in that position, like you said, he can kick from 59. So just being able to push him that far and get him out there and make it that much more difficult, that was huge. Other than that, I mean, I had no complaints. Tip passes, we'll figure that out. There's got to be something. There's something going on as to why we're always getting them tip passes.
Yeah. No, I mean, to piggyback off you a little bit with the ugly, the first drive on offense, that first drive on defense, that was really ugly, but they stepped up. They got it under them. So we're talking about a tip ball and a fake field goal that led to a touchdown instead of, that was the game. That first drive, they did come out with heart. They turned it around, got the heart. So overall, it was a great game.
And even though we didn't get an interception or anything, like, we were getting to Dak. We were setting pressure. We were getting home too. That's important. If you're not going to get an interception, at least get a sack out of it.
Yep.
Yeah, they were getting pressure. The problem is that now you've lost your best pass rusher for the rest of the season, and Can Dallas Turner show up in every way, and what does that change on the backside? And then moving forward into the offseason, is Brian Flores still here, after Black Monday? Not that he's getting fired, but his contract's up. And then, are we resetting this defense because you don't have the talent for a lot of guys that, like, this defense is successful because of the defensive coordinator, right? Like, it's not because of the talent on the field. You got a bunch of guys out there that are playing hybrid roles and are playing out of position, and he's been able to make something out of nothing. So for me, the biggest offseason move for me has nothing to do with personnel, right? It has nothing to do with the players on the field. It is, are you going to be able to get Brian Flores back as your defensive coordinator? And I don't know that he ever, and I don't think he's leaving for another defensive coordinator job, right? Like, he's only leaving if he's getting a head coaching gig. And as long as you have that, lawsuit against the league, I don't know, that that's ever going to happen for you. So do you just stay and make it, your career as the best defensive coordinator maybe ever, right? I mean, if this team wins anything next year or in the future with him running the defense, I think he really cements himself as one of those guys.
Go ahead, Big B.
Yeah, I was going to say, I think what we have in our little pocket there is that little lawsuit to where, unless he does leave and say, you know what, I want to go coach a different defense and maybe move into the head coaching job for that team, or he leaves for a coaching job at college. But I think he'll be back. We might not sign him back right away. We might let him play the field a little bit, but I think that lawsuit is something that we got tucked in our back pocket that I think is going to scare some teams away from.
The Wilfs are secretly paying lawyers to keep dragging this thing.
Yeah. Money talks.
Yeah. Well, I think it's extremely important that we keep Flores because, if we end up, sending the pitchfork to KOC next year because, the season might be, the same as this year, you have nowhere, you don't really have to look anywhere but internal, and that's Flores. So bring him on up. You got to keep him too because this guy is amazing. His schemes, his mind, the way he cares about his job, the pride he puts into it. I mean, he can take your salary cap situation. Ours is poor right now, and he'll be like, free agents. It's not just the cream of the crop. It's whoever's going to be a free agent, and he can look at those and be like, that guy. They'll fit in our system. Let's bring them in. And for pennies on the dollar.
Yeah,
you're
not going to find that just anywhere. We have to keep him.
Yeah, that's a superpower, man. And I think an underappreciated thing that he brings to the table, right? Is that this team is not, I mean, obviously I think Harrison Smith is a Hall of Famer. Anyone who can stick around the game that long and put up the numbers that he's done, still being effective this year at how is 37? What is it, 37 or something?
Smith, I think he's 32.
Yeah. Oh, there's still in freaking NFL years, that's like 50.
Yeah. Yep. And to be
you're playing against guys that are 10 years younger than you with, almost no miles on their bodies. That's
coming out fresh forward too.
And at a hard position and being, a hammer like he has been most of his career. Now he's not coming in and laying the wood like he used to back in the day, but yeah, kind of getting back to B-Flow, he changes the way offensive coordinators have to call the game. He changes everything into going into your, into your planning for the game. He and there's not a lot of defensive coordinators that I feel like do that. Now there's players, there's a Micah Parsons or there's a, Myles Garrett that affect a game plan in that way, but you can't game plan for what he's going to do because it's always coming from somewhere else. And yeah, if he leaves this team, that's a massive, massive blow. And honestly, if he does leave, I feel like it buys KOC time if things implode next year, right? If B-Flow leaves and the team implodes, it probably actually buys KOC a little bit of time and a little bit of grace in that as well. But as long as you got B-Flow putting out this defense with whoever the cast of characters are next year, I think you see a lot more turnover on that side of the ball than on the offensive side of the ball. Yeah, a lot's riding on that.
Well, and, to piggyback off what you said, if you have a Micah Parsons or a Myles Garrett, that makes it a little bit easier on your defense because you have that star power. We don't really have that. We're just getting like bargain bin players and finding like the perfect position for him. Van Ginkel, I never heard of the dude before he came here. I'm not even gonna lie. I never heard of him. I can't lie. And then
his value isn't even necessarily as a pass rusher And no disrespect to Jonathan Grenard too, but I think he's not the best pass rusher on really any other team, right? Like any other top tier playoff team, right? He's maybe your second guy on a lot of those better teams, but what he's able to do is to take these guys that don't fit anywhere else. Some of Josh Metellus, right? Or some of these other guys that have been around, and he puts them in a position to play their best ball. And like you said, that's where you can start pulling guys off the scrap heap or drafting guys on talent and traits and putting them in a position to succeed rather than having to have the best player at their respective position.
You know, and you really got to give Flores a lot of credit because, I mean, Kwesi and KOC, they're not giving them any, they're not doing them any favors. I mean, we're getting, KOC's over there scraping the bottom of the barrel for cornerbacks, old has-beens, never were, and throwing them out there. And Flores' defense, they're mugging that double A gap, sending almost everybody to the line. That puts a lot of pressure on them DBs. And, I mean, he's not doing bad with what he's being given. That's for damn sure. Poor dude. Damn.
Yeah, as a GM, when your best pick is a kicker, you haven't done very well.
I mean, we're laughing about that being the best. Right now, who's our MVP? It's got to be our kicker.
But
that or the punter. That or the punter. Ryan Wright's
really good this year, man. Really good. Yeah. And the way he flipped the field against Dallas mattered. That big kick to pin them down deep after they had kind of come down and scored, and you went 3 and out, I think, on that next drive, or we ended up having to, that was huge because it gives your defense a chance. And I think that ended up being the first missed kick. I think that was the drive that Dallas missed it on, where they got some yards back, but they gained 60 yards because they get it at the 40. Right? Like it's a game changer, especially when you have a defense that is as dangerous as this Vikings defense has been. Even if they tend to give up a little bit of yards and you're not getting the takeaways, you're playing more of that bend, don't break kind of defense this year. It matters because the kickers aren't automatic, right? As we saw from Aubrey, even the best of them with the biggest legs aren't automatic, man. So, I say his legs got tired from that freaking fake field goal. That's what it was.
No, that's just like I'm not gonna lie, that irked me so bad. But then, we pull that fake on 4th down, and that's another thing I want to point out. That 4th down with McCarthy rolling out, and just the 4th downs that we've been doing and attempting in general. Just. It seems like we're playing a little bit more free, just stress free. Like, hey, it don't matter. Let's go out and play this game. 4th down. We're not even going to make the playoffs. Let's see what we got. And the fact that we're able to convert some of these 4th downs, that gives McCarthy a hell of a ton of confidence later in his career for when we go through a crucial 4th down. He's like, been there, done that. Let's do it again. You know what I'm saying?
And that's not KOC's MO, right? Like, he is not a guy that goes forward on 4th down a lot, but I feel like that's the moxie that you get out of JJ that you've been asking for, is someone that can, when the play breaks down, because Kirk didn't have that. Let's be real. And neither did Sam. Like, if the play broke down, you were it's done. So if they cover everything up and drop 8 on you, you don't have any options, where JJ gives you that extra element. And I think, if they can marry up over the off season and start to install a little bit more of what, not necessarily what KOC wants to do, but what JJ does well and variations of that. Can KOC go back to the drawing board over the course of this off season coming up and to say, hey, let's take the things that you do well and let's put those in different looks. And I think that's what a Sean McVay does really well. They're playing a ton of 13 over there in LA this year. But what they do is they're running a lot of essentially the same play, but with a different look. the same motion, and then you're doing something. And that's what I, watching the Bears games that I have watched this year, that's something that Ben Johnson does really well too, is you're seeing the same look. You're seeing the same guy go in motion with almost the same look, and maybe it's a wing over here or it's a little bit different. It's the same look, and then something different happens. And I think that's what the best coordinators and play callers in the NFL are able to do. It's not who can draw up the best, play. It's who can run the simple stuff, show it, or, show it in the same light and do something different, or show it in a different light and do the same thing, right? It's variations.
Well, and I'm shocked that I'm saying this just because, how the season started, but KOC, we were calling for it. We're like, hey, we got to see a change. And it took a little bit longer than expected, but he finally made that change, and now he's starting to adjust. I've mentioned it in previous episodes. The game is always evolving. So as a coach, you always have to be able to not be stuck in your ways and evolve yourself. And, from beginning of the season till now, I mean, that's night and day. We're seeing him kind of loosen up a little bit.
Sorry, Cody.
No, I was going to say, and McCarthy, along with Riker, bringing that moxie, that attitude to it, kind of making KOC feel young again, feel alive again. And, hey, I think this is going to be a hype season coming up, and for a couple more to come, because, oh, man, we got that swag now.
And they've always said over the years, NFL's a copycat league. So if it's working good for one team, somebody else is going to try to use it. I mean, the only thing that nobody's copied yet is the tush push. Because, but everybody else has copied something from other teams. So.
Well, and I think that's been figured out now too. And I kind of think it was the Vikings who might have done that the first time, where they laid the guy down in front of the center, said, no, you're not moving this. We're just going to stack somebody right here.
Oh, really? I guess I didn't catch that, but
everybody's doing it now. Because you're like, okay, cool. You're going to get that push from, okay, we're not going to let you do it. We're going to put a boulder. We're going to take our biggest guy. We're going to put B right in front of the center, and he ain't moving. Yeah,
I mean, if you have like a Vita Vea and you stick him right there, or a Kevin Williams back in the day, you're not moving that dude. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, the Warriors wall would have stopped that in a heartbeat by themselves.
I miss that. We were best rushing defense in the league. Oh, bring it to me in the air. Winfield over here. Oh man, I got Corey Taylor. Oh man,
what's in that cup, Cody? Taking him down memory lane now.
Hey man, those were the good times though. Dante getting his roll on. Don't tell me that didn't get you excited. When he was doing that, we were doing good.
Yep.
Hey Coach, I know you got tryouts coming up for the Wyoming Cavalry. Let's talk about it, man.
Yeah, coming up quick. December 28th. I know it's after Christmas, but I mean, that's what we had to do. It is what it is. And I'm excited. We got a big turnout expected. And, I just hired on an assistant defensive coach. He's going to be helping out with the defensive line here in Minnesota, Rashad Gaydon. He spent some time with the Duluth Harbor Monsters last year. So I'm extremely excited to bring him and the value that he brings to the team. I got the itinerary down. I got the drills down. Just waiting for the day, waiting for the players. I'm so excited for this season. I've mentioned it a couple days ago. I'm already watching film, just because I know with my scout team, they're gonna have to be smart.
There's the flyer. There we go.
Appreciate it. But they're gonna have to be smart if you're gonna be on the scout team for this Wyoming Cavalry here in Minnesota. You're gonna have to learn two offenses, ours and theirs, and it shouldn't be unexplored territory to those who went the college route and everything like that. But I'm excited. I want to see competition. I want to see who's hungry, who really wants it. Because I mean, shout out to Jabari Bishop and the St. Paul Bears. I'm still receiving a ring from them for that championship run, 6-0, number one ranked in the nation, just undefeated champions. And now I'm going for a second one, and I'm coming even more hungry. I know.
That'll be like 3 rings in 1 calendar year, won't it, Coach? Come on now.
3, including the fantasy football one, but I got another one. I just got to round 2. It ain't nothing. Just get me into the playoffs and I'm good. But no, I'm excited. I learned a lot just jumping from semi-pro to professional arena, from defensive backs coach to head coach and GM. I learned a lot about myself, about the sport, the ins and outs, everything. The small details in the plays, all that. And I'm ready to come back and prove that it wasn't a fluke and that we can just run the table again. I want another one on this finger. I'm telling you what, right here.
Yeah, man. Well, and shout out to you. I mean, you should be proud of yourself. And I know we're so proud of you here, the work that you did to put this team together. I mean, I witnessed it all year, following you and making sure that we were sharing out the tryouts and putting these, we interviewed some of your players. We got to meet some of the St. Paul Bears when we were up there, last March. And yeah, man, seeing what you built, and you built a culture of winning before you ever stepped on the field to play a game, right? There was already a culture there. And that's why I was so adamant about getting you onto this show and having your, obviously your coaching insights matter, but it's the off the field stuff that I almost have more questions about, right? Like how do these guys feel? And necessarily you can't speak for the team, and we don't have credentials for the Vikings yet. Believe me, boys, I'm going to be working on them. The longer we keep going, I'm going to be trying to get us as much access as they'll allow us. But the behind the scenes stuff, right? The training camp looks, and now having put together a championship team, moving into our draft coverage, that's going to matter, right? And now you're going to have, and I'm sure you've done mock drafts your whole life doing that and playing that part, but now you've got to do that, in real life. And I know it's not a draft necessarily with, the team that you've done before, but you're still putting together and assessing talent and assessing the makeup of a team that, maybe some guys are more talented, but they're not a good culture fit and they're going to be a cancer to the team. Well, you don't want that. And I think that moving forward with what we're doing, and then right after the Super Bowl, you guys are kicking off the Cavalry season too. So we're going to try to get some access and cover that with you right along the way as well.
Yeah, no, I'm excited, and I appreciate all the kind words. You and Big B, you guys have been with me literally this whole past year plus. Seeing all the hard work, dedication, the pride that I took into it. From the decals, everything, literally. That was it. It was I knew it was going to be difficult, but I took pride in it. I wanted to enjoy every second of it and make memories of it, every part of my journey. And now that with the Wyoming Cavalry, this is just another step forward. Like you said with B-Flow earlier, you don't think he's going to take a lateral position to another defensive coordinator position. I hope he doesn't. We're in this to get our players to the next level as high as they can go. We're trying to go as high as we can go, but we want our players to go even higher. That's why we do this. And I'm just extremely grateful to be in this position. And I know that if, we put in the work, if I put in the work, get these players in a position to be successful, they're going to take care of the rest. It's difficult having a couple stars on your team that just don't mesh character-wise on and off the field or in the locker room, and you got to let them go. But that's where, I did a great job filling out that roster, top to bottom. Any one of them players could have started. and any one of them could have made a difference at any given point in the game. And the fact that they would run through walls for me, it just it touches me a little bit. You know what I'm saying? Because I love my players. I'm a player's coach. Like, I'm 35. I don't look it. And I'm like 5'10", so I'm short. I'm looking up at some of these offensive linemen. You know what I'm saying? So just being able to, get that respect from them and have them hear me and want to play for me. It's just, it's a blessing. It's a true blessing.
Well, I know when you first posted that you're getting the head coaching job there, I reached out and like, hey, dude, what is this? And you're kind of explaining, and then we started talking about doing, the weekly show, and, we had some good times. And, everybody that we interviewed, even you and your coaching staff, the players, all had the same goal. You guys are hungry. You guys want to go out there and be hungry. This is your first year. You guys wanted to go out and set the tone right away. And the games I watched, we commented on, there were some definitely hungry people there. There's, I still could just envision that one, defensive lineman just going right through the hole, sacking the quarterback 20 yards back. And I think it was your first or second game that turned around that game. But I'm glad I'm on the journey with you there, Coach. And, we've known each other for a year since I moved up to, Cannon Falls here. And, definitely proud of what you've done, turn around, moving on, want to do best for you and your team. And, yeah, everybody that we talked to always had the, utmost respect for you. And, when the stuff happened with the Bears, I reached out again and be like, hey, what's going on? And, you didn't really want to talk about it. You just said, yeah, it's, it's heartbreaking, but it sounds like you guys got back on the same page, get that ring. So, congrats to you, bud.
Yeah. I mean, God works in amazing ways. And, it was at the point where I made the mistake of committing and having it go public before I actually wanted to. But, at that point, I was in it still to win it, giving it my all. And when it happened, I mean, yeah, I was upset. I didn't want to leave on terms like that. And I didn't want to leave, period, but I had to. And just knowing, my guys and my players, my coaching staff and everything, they were going to be set up to succeed, and they were going to be just fine. And then I would have a little bit of extra time to set up for this and get myself prepared for, a higher level of arena. It was like, all right, well, I'm stubborn. I was going to do both as long as I could, but God had other plans. He's kind of like, let's back it up a little bit. You got this to handle.
Well, and I mean, you have personal goals, like the stop along the way here with the St. Paul Bears. I mean, it was an opportunity that you took full advantage of. Yep. You built a winner. That team was succeeding. You were showing a lot of growth anyway, but these are stops along the way. I mean, your goal is to get to that ultimate destination that is the NFL, right? Like you're that's your goal. So you have to take those opportunities when they come. And granted, there's some mistakes. I mean, these lessons are going to serve you well for your future as well, right? Like you've learned lessons along this path, both on the football field and off of them. Now, what is your new role with the Cavalry? You're back to just being a defensive coach. Are you coordinator then? And how's that all going to work with you living in Minnesota and the team obviously being in Wyoming?
Sorry about that. Assistant head coach and defensive coordinator. So the offense is going to live and be housed in Gillette, Wyoming. The defense is going to live and be housed in Minnesota, probably around the Burnsville area. I think it's a great opportunity. Like you said, I was hemming and hawing at the Bears opportunity, but ultimately, I want to be comfortable living uncomfortable and constantly growing and trying to just elevate, trying to learn, trying to experience new things. And so I took that jump and that leap. And, I had my ups and downs, bumps and everything, but, we made it through. I just had faith that we were going to, with this Wyoming team. Like I said, defense is going to be housed in Minnesota. We got 7 games so far, 5 are home. So we'll just have to travel out to Wyoming for those 5 games. For the other 2, one's in Iowa, one's in Michigan. So they basically got to drive to us or through us anyway. So that's how that's going to work. For our defense, I'll obviously need a scout team. But this is a huge opportunity for players that, want to make it there. Might not have made the team or a different team and want to try to come and be a scout player for us. You'll be running our opposing team's plays. And with arena football, there's so many injuries. There's people coming and going left and right that, you could mess around and find yourself going from practice squad to or a scout team practice squad to active roster of an arena football team in the AIF. So,
just so we're clear about it, you're looking for defensive starters for the team, and then obviously, a roster there. But you also need offensive guys out there to run a scout team against your defense. And so you need all kinds of ball players that can come out, take part in the tryouts, and to be a part of this cavalry team. Now, this ain't the NFL. Everybody ain't getting, fat checks or anything, right? This is still a lower league, a developmental. It's professional, but it's not, a big money league. But guys who are looking to continue their careers, and you never know what happens. I mean, you got Jalen Redmond, who was playing in the UFL a year ago, who's playing in US Bank Stadium, right? So, there's steps you can take if you continue to play at a high level and continue your career. Guys are always getting hurt at every level of the game. So if you can manage to continue to evolve as a player and stay active, you never know when that opportunity will come. And even guys that are on practice squads in the NFL, they're getting paid to play the game.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, I tell people that too. I'm like, don't ever cap yourself. You might think you're too old. You might still be valuable on a practice squad or something like that. And practice squad players, I'm pretty sure, make 100, 200K. And to you and me, that's life-changing money. I'll take that.
Well, that's twice what I ever made working my ass off 60 hours a week, right?
Yeah. And that's just seasonal. Please, I'll take that.
Yeah, it's a good living if you know how to live right. You're not getting the mansion and everything, and you probably don't have the top tier insurance plans that some of these the starters have on their stuff. But it's an opportunity to play ball. So shout out to all of our players, and I'll make sure that we top this bit up on our shorts, and we can kind of get this out here. So glad that we could share some ball. Glad that we can share this opportunity with as many people as possible. I'll be sharing it out there as much as I can, and make sure we fill that tryout up and get you some ball players.
Oh yeah, like I said, I'm excited. Anybody who knows me knows that when we step on that field, it's business. Coming in, taking care of business, going straight home. I don't have time for any of this silly shit. Let's go in, get this ring, and leave. It's awesome. That simple. It can be that simple.
Speaking of leaving, boys, I think we've covered just about everything we can here. I appreciate you guys giving me so much of your time during the week to talk ball. B, you've been a blessing to us, man. I appreciate everything you've done for us. I got the DMs. I'm going to work on those things for you just to let you know in person. I'm going to float your name along with Coast to Coast as well. Shout out to you guys and everything that you're doing over at that network. I hope that I can come on and join you guys on your show sometime. And we can just keep growing this thing. Coach, congratulations on the ring. Congratulations on moving forward to this next step with the Wyoming Cavalry. We'll see all of you fans back here on Sunday. We play on Sunday. I'm not even looking at the schedule.
Yeah.
That's not. Well,
Sunday.
This Sunday night football schedule fucked me up, man.
Wait, what'd you say, BB?
Sunday, 12 o'clock against the Giants, I believe it is.
Awesome.
Perfect.
We'll be live on the channels here for Vikings United pregame. That'll be at 10 a.m. on Sunday. We will be back here. Coach Cody will have his keys to the game that I'm sure he'll send me 10 minutes before we go live. No, I'm just kidding. He's been really good about getting them to me by like Friday, which gives me plenty of time. We love you guys. Thanks for tuning in. Shout out to everybody that's been with us, riding with this team and continuing to tune into our content about a team that's not going to make the playoffs. It means the world to us. So for my two co-hosts, Coach Cody and Big B, this is Bubba Starts signing off for the night. We'll see y'all on Sunday.
See ya.
SPSN.